They failed to make the case to the American people prior to the abysmal rollout this fall, and Eric Cantor hedged his bets when the government did shut down, putting in 2 bills, as you know. He put in one bill to defund Obamacare, and on the other hand, he put another bill in to end the shutdown without any concessions on Obamacare from the president. What a hypocrite. 2 bills, totally 180 from each other, to do 2 separate things for political expediency. You can't call yourself a conservative while you're undermining your fellow conservatives at every turn. As your congressman, I will work relentlessly to defund and repeal Obamacare, to work with fellow economists and business leaders to forge new solutions that reward personal savings, allow you to keep your health insurance, and to bring down the cost of health care. Together, we can identify new ideas and bring conservative solutions to our national health care crisis. Eric Cantor has become part of the problem in Washington. He has become a rubber stamp to Washington's games of crony capitalism, deficit spending, and backroom deals with special interests. He has become way too content with $4 trillion budgets every year. $4 trillion. Straight to D.C. $17 trillion in debt. Go out to the debt clock and watch that thing zoom up by the instant. $17 trillion in debt and still climbing. They talk about decreasing deficits. Guess what happens? If you have decreasing deficits, the debt is still growing. So that's sleight of hand. And on the debt clock, $125 trillion in unfunded liabilities and government programs. Coming our way, slapped on the generations of your kids and grandchildren in the next 20 or 30 years. It's overwhelming, not a word said to fix those problems. He's backed TARP in the past, government picking winners and losers, and he's been a key ally of the left currently in support of amnesty. Irresponsible spending by Cantor and the establishment is mortgaging our children's future. That's an economic issue. More importantly, that is a moral issue. As we saw with Ronald Reagan, sound conservative economic principles can restore our jobs and strengthen our freedoms. And as an unflinchingly conservative economist, I have spent my life showing companies, teaching students, and fighting for conservative solutions that can solve these financial crisis issues we've been facing for the past 5 or 6 years. We never should have gotten there in the first place if we would have followed free market principles. Taking a stand with bold conservative leadership can get our country back on track. The fiscal problems our nation faces are something we can overcome together. With leaders willing to make the tough choices and stick to principle, we can balance our budget and put our nation back on a path to prosperity. Of these issues, it would be wrong to declare the fault to be only Eric Cantor's, but it would also be clear that he has not been the solution in any way to these major issues we're outlining. On his watch, Obamacare remains intact. On his watch, the deficit and the debt continues to spiral up past $17 trillion. And with his support of the Ryan Murray budget, this wiped away the only thing that was doing anything about fiscal responsibility. And we just got rid of that discipline. On his watch, government has continued to grow, our freedoms continue to shrink, hopes and dreams have faded, and dependence is spreading like a plague.